50 years had passed since humanity returned to the galaxy. Admiral Kyle Harrison sat in a simple room with the last members of the old Galactic Council. These aliens had once ruled 3,000 worlds. Now they were students learning about the new reality. Harrison looked very old, but he was not dying. Human technology had made death optional long ago. His mind was connected to every human ship, every human base, every human thought across the galaxy. He was one person and a million people at the same time. "You want to know what we learned during our exile," he said to the aliens. His voice was kind but firm. "We learned that staying alive is not about being stronger or smarter than everyone else. It is about becoming necessary." Former Emperor Vexthal, now just an old alien in simple clothes, raised his hand like a school child. "What do you mean by necessary?" Dr. Amanda Foster answered him. Her body was sitting in the room, but her mind was spread across dozens of star systems, helping alien children learn to exist in multiple dimensions at once. "You made yourselves rulers by force," she explained, "but rulers can be overthrown. We made ourselves part of the universe itself. If you remove us now, reality would collapse." The alien council members looked confused. Harrison stood up and walked to a window that showed the galaxy outside. But it was not the same galaxy, they remembered. "Look," he said. "Every star you see is powered by human-designed energy systems. Every planet's gravity is maintained by human gravity generators. Every thought in every alien mind is supported by human neural networks that exist in the space between atoms." Captain Jake Morrison, whose consciousness now spanned entire star clusters, continued the explanation. "We did not conquer you. We became the foundation you stand on. Remove humans from this galaxy, and every world would drift apart. Every star would go dark. Every mind would stop thinking." An old Vex collective leader named Crix asked, "But why? Why did you make yourself so essential?" "So this can never happen again," said Lisa Brooks. Her voice came from everywhere at once, because she was everywhere at once. "What you did to us, what you celebrated for 47,000 years, it is now impossible." Morrison smiled gently. "Try to imagine genocide now. Try to imagine one species destroying another completely." The aliens tried to think about it, but their minds would not let them. The concept of total extinction had been removed from their ability to think. Not by force, but by the way humans had redesigned reality itself. "We cannot," whispered Crix. "When I try to think about destroying an entire species, my mind just stops working." "Exactly," said Harrison. "We have made evil impossible. Not by controlling you, but by changing what the universe allows." Rebecca Martinez spoke from her position teaching alien children on 1,000 different worlds. "Your young ones understand this naturally. They grow up in a reality where hurting others is as impossible as falling upward." A young alien girl named Zara, who had grown up under human rule, was visiting the council meeting. She was only 12 years old, but she could exist in 7 dimensions at once and speak to people on distant planets just by thinking about them. "Why are the old ones so sad?" she asked Harrison. "In my world, everyone is happy. No one fights. No one hurts each other. Everyone learns amazing things every day." Harrison knelt down to her level. "They are sad because they remember when the universe was broken, when people could hurt each other, when species could be destroyed completely. They think that was normal." "That sounds terrible," Zara said. "I am glad you fixed everything." Former General Croft, who had once commanded millions of warships, asked quietly, "What happens to us now?" "To the old species who cannot adapt." Chancellor Lisa Brooks answered with compassion, "You live comfortable lives in the spaces we have made for you. You are cared for. You are safe. But the future belongs to those who can evolve. Your children." And grandchildren are already becoming something wonderful, added Dr. Foster. They are not fully human, but they are not their old species either. They are something new. Harrison walked back to his chair. This was never about revenge, he said. Revenge only lasts until the person doing the revenge feels satisfied. This is about prevention, making sure that what happened to us never happens to anyone else. Maria Gonzalez, who had studied alien history for decades, spoke from her position managing the Galactic Archives. You celebrated our extinction for 47,000 years. Now you will spend the next 47,000 years learning why that was the biggest mistake in galactic history. But her voice was not angry. It was sad, not as punishment, as education, so that no one ever forgets what happens when species try to destroy each other. The old aliens sat quietly for a long time. Finally, Vexthal asked, "Do you forgive us?" Harrison considered the question carefully. Forgiveness is for individuals who make mistakes. What you did was not a mistake. It was a choice made by entire civilizations over thousands of years. But forgiveness does not matter anymore. What matters, said Captain Morrison, is that it can never happen again. We have built a galaxy where extinction is impossible. Where hate cannot grow. Where every species has the chance to become more than they ever dreamed. Young Zara looked around at all the old aliens. In school, we learned that long ago, people used to hurt each other. But that was before humans taught everyone how to be better. Now everyone gets to grow and learn and become amazing. Dr. Martinez appeared in the room as a shimmer of light. The transformation is almost complete. Across the galaxy, 90% of young aliens can now exist in multiple dimensions. Crime has decreased to almost zero. War is literally impossible to imagine. Harrison stood up one final time. The lesson is simple. You thought destroying us would make you safe. Instead, it made us into something that could never be destroyed. We are not just in this galaxy now. We are this galaxy. The old aliens finally understood. Humanity had not come back to rule them or kill them. Humanity had come back to evolve them, to make them part of something bigger and better than anything the galaxy had ever known. As the meeting ended, Zara took the hand of former Emperor Vexthul. Do not be sad, old one, she said gently. You could not see the future back then. But your great-great-grandchildren will live in a universe where everyone is happy and safe forever. Vexthul looked down at the young being who could exist in 7 dimensions at once, who could speak to distant stars, who had never known hate or fear or the possibility of extinction. Maybe, he said quietly, we were wrong about everything. Yes, said Admiral Harrison as he prepared to return to his duties, managing the infinite complexity of the new galaxy. But being wrong was the first step toward becoming right. The age of the old galaxy was over. The age of evolution had begun. And in this new universe, every species would have forever to become everything they were meant to be. Andrew Johnson stood on what used to be the capital planet of the Zenthari Empire. But the planet did not look the same anymore. The buildings were still there, but they seemed to be made of light instead of stone. The sky showed 3 different colors at the same time. Gravity worked sideways in some places. How is this possible? Asked Dr. Rebecca Martinez, who was helping alien families adjust to their new world. Andrew smiled. We did not just change the buildings. We changed the rules that make buildings possible. This planet now follows human physics instead of alien physics. The aliens living on the planet were confused and scared. They had lived their whole lives knowing that up was up and down was down. Now they had to learn that directions were just suggestions that could be changed. A young alien child named Zeph ran to his mother. Mama, I walked through the wall again, he said. Is that bad? His mother, an old Zenthari female, did not know what to say. In the old days, walking through walls was impossible. Now her son did it by accident. I do not know anymore, child. Nothing works the way it used to. Rebecca knelt down to talk to the child. It is not bad, she said kindly. You are learning new ways to exist. Soon you will be able to do things your grandparents never dreamed of. On another world, Captain Danny Wright was dealing with the first major rebellion against human rule. The Thrakari people had decided to fight back. They had gathered weapons and made plans to attack the human. Base. Danny received the report at exactly 3:47 in the afternoon. By 3:48, he had arrived at the rebellion site with his team. The rebels were standing in the town square, holding guns and shouting angry slogans. We will not bow to human tyranny, yelled their leader, a fierce warrior named Grek. We choose death over slavery. Danny looked at his watch. Computer, please undo the last 17 minutes. Suddenly, Grek found himself standing peacefully in his home. His weapons were gone. His fellow rebels were doing normal daily activities like shopping and eating lunch. None of them could remember why they had been angry. What happened? Grek asked his wife. I was just somewhere else, doing something important. But I cannot remember what. His wife shrugged. You have been home all day, dear. You helped me plant flowers in the garden. Grek looked at his hands. They were dirty from gardening. But he could swear he had been holding a weapon just moments ago. I think I am losing my mind, he whispered. Carl Thompson was in charge of building humanity's new galactic capital. But this was not like building a normal city. The capital existed in 11 dimensions at the same time. From the outside, it looked like a small space station. From the inside, it was larger than most planets. The throne room is ready, Carol reported to Admiral Harrison, though calling it a room is not really accurate. Harrison walked through the entrance and found himself in a space that had no walls, no ceiling, and no floor, yet somehow felt completely enclosed and comfortable. He could see every planet in the galaxy from where he stood, but he was also somehow sitting in a chair that existed in 17 different realities simultaneously. This will do nicely, he said. Now we can keep an eye on everything at once. Frank Miller was the governor of Sector 7, which contained about 3 million alien worlds. His job was to help these worlds transition to the new reality humans had created. It was not easy work. Governor, said his assistant, we have another complaint from the Vexlings. They say their children are accidentally time-traveling when they get emotional. Frank sighed. Send them the standard response. Tell them this is normal during the adjustment period. Their children will learn to control their new abilities in time. Also, the Thraxan Council wants to know why their criminals keep turning into flowers when they commit crimes. That is working as intended, Frank said. Crime is now impossible because the universe itself prevents harmful actions. If someone tries to hurt another being, reality changes them into something harmless. Until they learn better. Jennifer Stone was running the first school for alien children under the new human system. The young aliens were learning subjects that would have been impossible to teach under the old physics. Today we will practice existing in multiple dimensions. She told her class of mixed alien species. Remember, just because you are here does not mean you cannot also be somewhere else. A small blue alien raised her hand. Teacher, why do the old aliens get scared when we do impossible things? Jennifer thought carefully about how to answer. Because they lived their whole lives believing certain things were impossible. You are. Growing up knowing that impossible is just another word for uninvented. Roger Clark was sending reports back to Human Command from all over the galaxy. What he found was both encouraging and sad. The young aliens are adapting quickly, he wrote. They accept the new reality without question. But the older aliens are struggling. Many of them were having mental breakdowns as everything they believed turns out to be wrong. On a former Vex collective world, an old alien scientist named Zerth sat in his laboratory crying. He had spent his entire life studying the laws of physics. Now humans had shown him that those laws were just local customs that could be changed at will. 50,000 years of research, he sobbed. All of it meaningless. We knew nothing. We understood nothing. His young assistant, barely an adult, patted him gently on the shoulder. It is okay, teacher. Now we can learn the real science. The human science. But Zerth shook his head. I am too old. My mind is too set in the old ways. This new knowledge is for your generation, not mine. Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out millions of times. The old aliens could not adapt to a universe where their most basic assumptions were wrong. But their children were thriving in the new reality humans had created. Dr. Amanda Foster studied this phenomenon carefully. We are not just changing their technology, she explained to the human leadership. We are changing evolution itself. The aliens who can adapt to our reality will survive and thrive. Those who cannot will fade away naturally. Is that not genocide? Asked Captain Steve Murphy. Amanda shook her head. Genocide is killing a species. We are offering them transformation. Those who choose to evolve will become something better. And they ever were. Those who refuse will simply become irrelevant. The transformation was happening faster than anyone had expected. Within just a few years, alien children were doing things their parents thought were impossible. They walked through walls, spoke to each other across vast distances without technology, and understood concepts that had taken humans thousands of years to develop. Lisa Brooks watched this transformation from her position as humanity's main contact with the evolving alien species. They are becoming more like us, she reported. Not human, but something that can exist in the same reality we do. Admiral Harrison nodded. Good, that was always the plan. We did not come back to destroy them. We came back to give them the chance we never had. The chance to evolve beyond their limitations. The galaxy was changing. Old alien governments were gone. Old alien science was obsolete. Old alien culture was fading away. In its place, something new was growing. Something that combined the best of all species with the unlimited potential humans had discovered during their long exile. The age of transformation had begun. And by the time it was finished, no one would remember what the galaxy had been like before humans returned home. Emperor Vexthal stood in his great war room looking at a map of the galaxy. Red dots showed where his forces were losing to the humans. There were too many red dots. Every day there were more. How many ships do we have left? He asked General Krath, his top military leader. 12 million, my lord, the general replied. We have called in every ship from every system. This is our full strength, the Emperor nodded. Good. We will make our final stand here at our home world. We will show these humans that the Centauri Empire does not fall easily. But the Emperor was scared, though he would never admit it. The reports from the front lines made no sense. Human ships that could not be touched. Human soldiers who walked through walls. Weapons that turned into flowers when fired at humans. It was like fighting against gods. Tony Rodriguez was the human admiral in charge of the attack on the Centauri home world. He sat in his command chair and looked at the alien fleet waiting for him. 12 million ships. It was the largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. Should we call for backup? Asked his second-in-command. Beth Lewis. Tony shook his head. We have enough ships. The human fleet had only 1,000 ships, against 12 million. But Tony was not worried. Numbers did not matter anymore. Alien fleet formed a wall of ships around their planet. Every weapon they had was pointed at the humans. Energy shields covered the entire system like a bubble. The aliens had even brought their oldest weapons, devices so powerful they could destroy stars. Human ships approaching, reported an alien sensor officer. Distance, 1,000,000 kilometers and closing. Emperor Vexthul watched on his screens as the tiny human fleet came toward them. Fire everything, he ordered. Destroy them before they get close. Millions of weapons fired at once. The space between the two fleets filled with energy beams, missiles, and exotic weapons that could twist reality itself. It was enough firepower to wipe out entire solar systems. But when the light faded, the human ships were still there. They had not even slowed down. The attacks had passed right through them like they were made of air. Impossible, whispered General Croth. Nothing can survive that much firepower. Tony Rodriguez smiled as his fleet continued toward the aliens. Begin phase shift, he ordered. The human ships started to change. They became see-through, like ghosts made of light. The alien ships tried to fire again, but their weapons could not lock onto targets that did not fully exist in normal space. The humans were there, but not there at the same time. Steve Murphy was the captain of the human ship Vengeance. He watched as his ship passed through the alien formation like it was empty space. The alien ships could not touch him, but he could. Still see them, still target them. Fire at will, came the order from Admiral Rodriguez. The human weapons were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Instead of energy beams or missiles, they fired pure thought made real. Where the human weapons hit alien ships, impossible things happened. One alien battleship turned into a flock of butterflies. Another became a field of flowers floating in space. A third simply forgot how to exist and faded away like a bad dream. Aliens watched in horror as their mighty fleet was destroyed without the humans even trying hard. Some ships tried to run away, but human ships were everywhere at once. The same human ship appeared to be in 100 different places, fighting 100 different battles. Emperor Vexthul played his final card. Deep in his palace was a weapon. From the ancient days, something so dangerous, his people had sworn never to use it again. It was called the Reality Hammer, and it could break the laws of physics themselves. Activate the Reality Hammer, he ordered his scientists. Target the human fleet. The weapon charged up with power stolen from a dozen stars. When it fired, space itself cracked like broken glass. The beam was meant to erase the humans from existence, to make it so they had never been born. Captain. Patricia Young felt the alien weapon hit her ship. For a moment, she felt herself starting to fade away. But then her ship's defenses kicked in. The human ships did not just resist the weapon. They absorbed it, learned from it, and sent it back. Improved. The Reality Hammer's energy returned to the alien fleet with interest. But instead of erasing the aliens, it changed them. Alien ships began transforming. Their weapons became art supplies. Their armor became flower petals. Their communication systems started broadcasting poetry instead of military orders. What is happening to us? Screamed an alien captain as his warship turned into a giant musical instrument. Alan White was humanity's expert on time and space. He had been waiting for the aliens to use their most dangerous weapons. When the Reality Hammer fired, he was ready. Temporal intercept complete, he reported to Admiral Rodriguez. I caught their emperor trying to escape through time. He is now stuck between seconds, experiencing this defeat over and over forever. Emperor Vexthul found himself trapped in a moment that lasted forever. He could see his empire falling, his ships being destroyed, his people surrendering. But he could not move forward or backward in time. He was frozen in the instant of his greatest failure. Across the galaxy, smaller alien governments saw what had happened to the mighty Xanthari Empire. If the most powerful force in the galaxy could be defeated so easily, What chance did they have? Michelle Davis was a human captain who received surrender messages from dozens of alien species. Her communication system was overloaded with aliens begging to give up. "We surrender," said the leader of the Vex Collective. "Please do not turn our ships into butterflies." "We give up," said the Queen of the Nethys Empire. "We will serve humanity in any way you wish." "We were wrong," said the Council of the 12. "Worlds, humans are clearly the superior species. We beg for mercy." But Admiral Harrison's response was the same to all of them. "You do not understand. We did not come here to rule over you. We came here to replace you." The aliens did not know what that meant, but it scared them more than any threat of destruction. Being killed was one thing. Being replaced was something else entirely. Within 1 month, every major alien government had fallen. The Galactic Confederation that had ruled for thousands of years was gone. The alien empires that had celebrated humanity's genocide were destroyed. The humans were just getting started. The real transformation was about to begin. Jake Morrison sent a message to all human forces. Phase 1 complete. All major alien military forces have been neutralized. Begin Phase 2, reconstruction. The aliens who survived the collapse of their empires soon learned that humans had not been speaking metaphorically. They really were going to be replaced. Not killed, but changed into something entirely different. The age of alien rule was over. The age of human evolution was about to begin. And every surviving alien was going to be part of that evolution, whether they wanted to or not. Maria Gonzalez walked through the alien library with her team. The building was huge and filled with millions of books and data files. But Maria knew most of these books were lies. For 47,000 years, the aliens had been telling themselves false stories about what they had done to humanity. She picked up an old history book. The title said, "The Great Victory Over the Dark Ones." Maria opened it and read the first page. It said humans were evil monsters who wanted to eat alien children and destroy all life in the galaxy. It said the aliens had to kill all humans to protect themselves. "This is garbage," said Tom Bradley, one of her helpers. He was looking at another book that showed pictures of humans with sharp teeth and red eyes. "They made us look like demons." Maria nodded. "They had to make us look evil. Otherwise they would have to admit they killed an entire species for no good reason." In another part of the alien city, Ryan Davis was breaking into computer systems. The aliens had hidden their real files deep in their machines, but human technology could find anything. Ryan's fingers moved across his keyboard as he dug deeper into the alien secrets. "Found something," he said to his team. A document appeared on his screen. It was marked Project Clean Slate, Top Secret, Eyes Only. Ryan read the document out loud. Phase 1. Declare humanity a threat to galactic peace. Phase 2. Launch surprise attacks on all human colonies. Phase 3. Hunt down and kill any surviving humans. Phase 4. Remove all evidence that humans ever existed. His teammate Carol Adams looked sick. They planned the whole thing. It was not a war. It was cold-blooded murder. Meanwhile, Nicole Wright was on an alien ship that her team had captured. She was looking at something called memory crystals. The aliens used these crystals to store important thoughts and experiences. Nicole put on special glasses that let her see what was inside the crystals. Suddenly, she was seen through alien eyes from long ago. She watched as alien ships surrounded a human colony world. She could feel the alien captain's excitement as he gave the order to fire. She watched human cities burn while alien soldiers celebrated. "They were happy," Nicole whispered. "They enjoyed killing us." The crystal showed her more scenes. Alien children learning in school about how their parents had saved the galaxy by destroying humanity. Alien politicians giving speeches about their great victory. Alien artists making paintings of dead human bodies. Nicole took off the glasses and felt sick. They turned our extinction into entertainment. Lisa Brooks was still listening to alien radio signals. Now that human ships were everywhere, the aliens were talking much more. They were scared and confused and angry. But what made Lisa mad were the things they said about humans. "They still call us monsters," she told Admiral Harrison. "Even now, when we are winning, they say we are evil creatures who should have stayed dead." Harrison looked tired. He had been alive for a very long time, even by human standards. "They cannot admit the truth," he said. "If they admit we were innocent, then they have to admit they are the real monsters." On the alien capital world, Amanda Foster was studying alien biology. She had discovered something interesting about how alien minds worked. The aliens had changed themselves over thousands of years to make it easier to forget bad things they had done. "Look at this," she showed her findings to Captain Jake Morrison. "They bred themselves to have poor long-term memory. They literally evolved to forget their crimes." Jake stared at the data. "So when they say they do not remember what they did to us, they might be telling the truth?" "In a way," Amanda said. "But the computers remember. The crystals remember. The evidence remembers. They just chose to forget." Ben Taylor had been recording alien communications from hundreds of worlds. Everywhere, the pattern was the same. The aliens were trying to figure out what humans wanted. They offered money, planets, slaves, anything they could think of. "They do not understand," Ben reported to the human command. "They think we came back to take something from them. They cannot imagine that we came back for justice." One alien message particularly bothered Ben. It came from Emperor Vexthal himself. What do the humans want? The Emperor asked his advisors. "We gave them what they deserved 47,000 years ago. Why are they not grateful to be extinct?" Dr. Sandra Kim was working with aliens who had surrendered to human forces. She was trying to understand their psychology. Most of the aliens seemed genuinely confused about why humans were angry with them. "We did what we had to do," one alien prisoner told her. "Your species was dangerous. You learned too fast. You asked too many questions. You would have disrupted the natural order." Sandra asked, "So you think genocide was the right thing to do?" The alien looked puzzled. "Genocide? We do not know this word. We performed a cleansing. We removed a threat to galactic stability." Sandra realized the aliens had even changed their language to hide their crimes. They had no word for genocide because they did not want to think about what they had really done. Captain Steve Murphy was leading a team through an alien museum. The museum had a whole section about the Great Cleansing. There were displays showing alien heroes who had participated in the war against humanity. There were weapons used to kill humans. There were even preserved human skulls labeled as trophies from the victory. "They put our bones in a museum," Steve said quietly. "They turned our genocide into a tourist attraction." His team found the worst display in the back of the museum. It was called The Last Human. It showed a model of a human family hiding in a cave while alien soldiers hunted them down. The sign explained how this was the final victory in the war against the human plague. Steve felt something he had not felt in thousands of years. Pure rage. They were proud of hunting down the last survivors. They were proud of killing children who had done nothing wrong. As human forces spread across the galaxy, more evidence came to light. Every alien world had monuments celebrating humanity's destruction. Every alien culture had songs and stories about their ancestors' great victory over the evil humans. The aliens had spent 47,000 years convincing themselves they were heroes. They had rewritten history, changed their language, and even altered their own biology to avoid, feeling guilty about committing genocide. But now the truth was coming out. And with the truth came something the aliens had never expected to face: consequences. Admiral Harrison sent a message to the remaining alien governments. "You have 47,000 years of lies to answer for," he said. "Every monument you built, every song you sang, every story you told, every celebration you held, we remember all of it. And now it is time for you to remember, too." The aliens were about to learn that some crimes are too big to forget. Some wounds are too deep to heal. Some debts can only be paid in full. Kyle Harrison looked out at the stars through the big window of his ship. He had waited his whole life for this moment. Behind him, 12,000 human ships floated in the darkness of space. They had traveled so far to get here, so very far from home. The galaxy had forgotten about humans. For 47,000 years, no human had set foot in this part of space. The aliens who lived here thought humans were all dead. They were wrong. Kyle pressed a button on his chair. His voice went out to all the ships in his fleet. "This is Admiral Harrison. Today we go home. Today we show them we never died." Lisa Brooks sat at her station nearby. She was watching the alien radio signals. The aliens were talking to each other, but they did not know humans were coming. Soon they would know. Soon they would be very scared. The first alien ships they met were small patrol boats. Kyle watched as his ships moved toward them. The human ships looked different now. They were not made of metal like the old days. They seemed to be made of light itself. When the alien weapons fired at them, the shots went right through like they were shooting at ghosts. Jake Morrison was the captain of another human ship. He sent a message to the aliens. "This is humanity. We have returned. You should give up now." The alien ships tried to run away. They could not. The human ships moved faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. In seconds, the alien patrol boats were gone. Not blown up, just gone. Turned into energy and absorbed by the human ships. On a planet called Zenther Prime, the alien leaders got the news. Emperor Vexthal was an old creature with too many arms and eyes like black stones. He had ruled for 3,000 years. His advisors told him about the strange ships. "Impossible," he said with his scratchy voice. "No species called humanity exists. We destroyed them long ago. This must be some trick." But deep in the old computer files, some aliens were starting to remember. There had been a war long ago. A war against young creatures who walked on two legs and had only two eyes each. The aliens had won that war. They had killed every human they could find. Or so they thought. Amanda Foster was looking at the alien messages her ship had picked up. She was a scientist who studied aliens. She could not believe how stupid they had become. For thousands of years, they had not invented anything new. They had not learned anything. They just stayed the same, while humans had become something amazing. The human ships began to appear everywhere at once. They showed up in 100 different star systems on the same day. The aliens did not understand how this was possible. One ship could not be in two places at the same time. But human ships were not normal ships anymore. At Kepler Station, the biggest alien military base, General Paul Carter sat in his command chair and smiled. His fleet had just appeared inside the enemy base. The alien shields were still up, but the human ships were already inside them. The aliens looked at their weapons and saw them turning to dust. Metal became powder. Energy weapons became flowers. Nothing the aliens had could hurt humans anymore. Maria Gonzalez was reading the alien history books her team had taken from their libraries. The books told lies about the old war. They said humans were monsters who wanted to destroy everything. They said the aliens had to kill humans to save the galaxy. But Maria knew the truth was different. Long ago, humans had come to the galaxy with open hands. They wanted to be friends. They wanted to trade and share knowledge. But the aliens were afraid. Humans learned too fast. They adapted too quickly. They asked too many questions. The aliens decided humans were too dangerous to live. Ryan Davis found the secret files in the alien computers. The files showed the real plan from long ago. The aliens did not just want to defeat humans in war. They wanted to kill every single human everywhere. They wanted to make sure humans could never exist again. They thought they had succeeded. The aliens had celebrated for 47,000 years. Every year they had a holiday called the Day of Cleansing. On that day, they remembered how they had killed all the humans. They were proud of what they had done. They thought it was there. Greatest Victory. Nicole Wright was a ship captain who had found the alien memory crystals. The crystals stored thoughts and feelings from the past. She could feel the joy the aliens had felt when they thought humans were all dead. She could feel how happy they were to have committed genocide. Ben Taylor was listening to alien radio. Messages. The aliens were scared now. They kept asking the same questions over and over. What do they want? How many of them are there? How did they survive? They could not understand that humans had not come back for money or land or power. Admiral Harrison sent a message to every alien planet. His words went to billions of alien ears. You erased us from your books. You pretended we never lived. But we remember everything. We remember every human world you destroyed. Every human life you took. Every lie you told about us. We are still here, and we have come home. The aliens tried to understand what they were fighting. Human ships moved through solid walls like water. Human weapons turned enemy fire into butterflies. Human soldiers walked through locked doors as if the doors were not there. Everything the aliens knew about how the universe worked was wrong. Sandra Kim was a doctor who studied minds. She explained to the other humans why their strategy was working so well. We are not just winning fights, she said. We are breaking their minds. They think the universe follows rules that cannot be changed. We show them that rules are just suggestions. The first day of the return was almost over. Across the galaxy, alien governments were falling. Some aliens tried to fight. Others tried to run. Most just stood still and stared at the impossible things humans could do. Kyle Harrison looked at the reports coming in from everywhere. Human forces were winning easily. Not one human had died. The aliens could not even hurt them. After 47,000 years in exile, humanity had become something the galaxy could not fight. The age of alien rule was ending. The age of human justice was about to begin.